Reminder, if you will, time for questions, if you will raise your hand and we will get a wireless microphone to you. Coach, you can give us a opening statement and we'll throw it over for questions.
Yeah, obviously the game bottom line at the end, we play, we're a returning NCAA tournament team, so we play every game that we play to win. And obviously Kentucky is, I'm sure as most of you know, they're an impressive bunch. So obviously disappointed that I thought we had the game, I don't know, got to about 7 there in the mid-50s, and obviously there's some moments that we thought we could have maybe executed and completed a couple plays and tried to hang in there a little bit more. At the same time, all in all, pleased with our fight, pleased with our resilience, pleased with our effort, our approach, and our attitude, and obviously didn't shoot the ball super good, and they had a lot to do with that. But all in all, pretty pleased with our performance tonight, and it's something that we can use to improve and get us back to the tournament, which is our ultimate goal.
Okay, a question for Coach here in the middle.
Coach, you had him within like 6 there around the 12-minute mark, and things sort of started to collapse. What were some things that maybe UK was doing on offense and y'all weren't doing to lead it?
Well, I mean, basketball is a game that's connected on offense and defense. So, I thought there were a couple plays that we didn't complete the turn. Maybe we didn't, a shot didn't go our way, or we missed a shot at the rim, or maybe looked for a foul call, and then all of a sudden you don't get back on defense, and they're able to run out and get some momentum. So, obviously they're a very difficult team to guard. They got 4 guys on the floor that can shoot at all times. There's always at least one guy that's among the best three-point shooters in college basketball. So they stretch you out a little bit, and we were trying to pressure while protecting the rim. They were slipping and cutting to the basket quite a bit. So their offense is very difficult. It poses a lot of challenges, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I thought during that stretch, when the game got a little up and down in our direction, that's when we had some good runs. If we didn't score right away, I thought when we were able to execute in the half court, good things happened. But kind of that in-between was a little bit of a struggle for us. When we didn't get a fast break point and our offense got a little stagnant or tired, we didn't get much movement and then took a kind of a rush shot. These guys really make you pay for that. So they're able to get some runouts from that and kind of extend that lead back up.
Coach, as far as what you said last week, you talked about how great teams communicate well. You held UK to only 8 made threes here today. How do you evaluate your team's communication, especially defensively against, like you said, one of the top shooting teams in the country?
Yeah, guarding the three-point line was certainly our main focus coming into this game. I get 4 and 2 are elite shooters. I mean, elite shooters. They had 5 of the 8. The rest of the team had 3. We were trying to hold them to 1 each. We really didn't want to set a goal at 0, but we thought if it was 2 combined, we'd be in good shape. But 8 for 29, I mean, that's accomplishing our goal. They execute very well. I mean, they cut to the basket at full speed. So when you stretch out and guard the line, I mean, they're not just running their patterns. They're running their patterns, changing speeds, changing directions at a very high level. So obviously they got to the free throw line. They got 29 points from the free throw line, and it's a physical game at the rim. I don't know that. I mean, there's maybe a couple of those where we were a step slow at the same time. I mean, we're fighting and we're battling, and we don't try to allow any easy layups and any easy threes. So, obviously 42 free throws is putting them to the line a little bit too much. There were some careless fouls there. Those couple at the end of the first half there, up near the half court line, got them. There's 2 plays at the end of the first half that stretched it up a little bit, and I thought that we're a little careless, and there's a few more of those. But obviously our emphasis was guarding the three-point line. I'm no expert on anything, but I would think playing these guys, it has to be. If you don't emphasize that, I think that they can really get you. Obviously, we had a tough time guarding the line and protecting the rim. At the same time, it's a credit to them and how they execute on offense.
Coach, you've talked about the importance of this team having a challenging schedule in this non-conference play. What do you take away from today, from playing a top-ranked team in an environment like this to help you prepare for where you want to be?
I take it that our team isn't nervous, afraid, or scared of anything at all. We've been in some very difficult environments, both last year and this year. Obviously, this is our second road game. We played at Grand Canyon and played here, which are 2 very different situations. But they're both very challenging, and I don't think that any kind of, we didn't break, we didn't show any kind of weakness, together, we stayed together. I mean, we've proved to ourselves time and time again that we're going to be a pretty tough group to break. So I don't know. I think you get better from these experiences. We're going to remember the locker room at Grand Canyon. We'll remember this one, and we're trying to get some real, belief that we can be on the floor with anybody. I don't think there's any part of us that's walking out of here tonight feeling that we don't belong in a basketball game at any arena in the country with any team. And I think when you coach a young group of people, you want them to have the best experience. You want them to gain authentic belief in their ability. And I don't think you do that by playing somebody that you're going to beat up on at home just to pad your record. I think that this group and what we've been through, I think challenges like this are needed, and I think we're in a good place. I know our record's 3-3. At the same time, I think we've just reinforced that what our goals are, and that we think we have the potential to make it back to the NCAA tournament.
Also in the back. Yep.
Yeah, hey, you talked about the way Kentucky full speed cuts to the basket. When you see their offense move in person and trying to guard it on the court, does anything else stand out to you that you can't really see on film that you're seeing it up close?
Their size and their length. You see what they do on film, but Robinson's all 6'7", Owe is, all of 225 pounds. They're physical forces too now. You see the patterns and stuff like that, but I think changing speeds and changing directions, that's, you don't want to kind of just move at the same pace. You want to be sharp in what you do. You want to make kind of definitive decisions. And, credit to them is not a lot of teams look quite like that on November 26th. I think by January, February, March, I think a lot of teams get to that point. But, they put a new group of people together. Those guys, to cut like that, you have to be unselfish. You have to be team-oriented. You have to be playing for the name on the front of their jersey. And man, they've certainly come together and formed that identity very, very fast. So I guess their size and maybe their speed and their strength, they're just a physical size and how they impose their will, certainly stands out live. Butler's a physical force, when he drives the basket, he creates space, and obviously tries to keep you from getting to the paint. So, they certainly have the physical tools, but again, the impressive part is just how unselfish and how willing to make the plays that don't go in the stat sheet that make a basketball team better.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, you've now spoken at length about the offense, and I understand that's easy to focus on with what they've got and all the shooting, but I'm just curious your thoughts on Kentucky's defense and maybe the potential that end of the floor has going forward.
Yeah, they certainly, we didn't get a lot of clean looks, I think, and if we did get clean looks, I thought maybe the middle of the second half we got a few, but man, that by that point, we were a little mentally and physically, tired and worn out, and I think McHenry missed a couple looks that he usually doesn't miss, and usually it's the defense that causes that. It's chasing you down all game, it's wearing you out all game. They had Butler on him from the start, and obviously he's among the best defenders in the country. Those guys, they're winning games because at an extreme margin because they score points, but they're not winning 100-90. They're winning 100-60 coming into this, and obviously held us to 68 points as well, and 4 for 26 from 3. So you have to focus on guarding the three-point line. I guess one advantage of shooting the ball really well is I'm sure they got to focus on it every day in practice, or else that defense doesn't look too good. So they certainly stretch out and they cause some problems, and looking at stat sheet, Don McHenry 3 for 16, Christian Lander 1 for 12. They held our two starting double-digit guards that is our starting backcourt to pretty poor shooting. So certainly a credit to them.
Jeff, you have one?
Can you talk a little bit about Andrew Carr? And it seems to be a kind of a stabilizing force for them at times when they get in trouble or the game gets close.
There ain't a lot of people that have a 6'11", 230-pound four-man in today's game, or at least, I'm watching games on TV the last couple of weeks, and teams are going small, and then you play them, and he's not their 5. So yeah, he always has kind of a mismatch, but he's not out, he can shoot the ball, but he's not out there just firing. He's not out there just trying to make things happen. He has 18 points, and he almost feels like, on 8 shots, he almost scores like when he has to. So I think stabilizing is probably a good word, I guess I had heard a little bit of hype about him coming into the season and, his background. But man, he plays, I mean, I don't, he had the ball a lot in a lot of different positions, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, 8 free. I mean, I don't know what mistakes he makes, and he certainly, he's very patient to get to his right hand. Like we kind of know he wants to go right hand, but he's just kind of patient getting there, and he handles the ball real well. He was certainly an outstanding player in today's game.
Babacar obviously had a really good game on the stats, but just outside of the stats, just his hustle that he was doing throughout the game, he hustled just as hard as anyone on the court, if not the hardest. What did you see out of him today?
Yeah, I thought Baba gave it everything he has. I mean, he's, obviously a little undersized compared to those front court guys. Maybe in the middle of the second half, I thought he was playing fine, but we did try to challenge him a little bit. I think he was almost trying to go around the big guys a little bit rather than going through them, which is a natural thing to do, almost maybe trying to draw a foul. I thought he made a lot of plays in the middle of that second half when we kind of got it to 6 or 7. We expect that out of him. He's been very, very consistent. He's been, a 2-year starter for us. He's gotten better and better, and obviously he's a huge part of our team.
Okay, we've got 3 more, 1 in the back, and then here and here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, back to the three-point defense tonight. You mentioned how Kentucky has shooters everywhere. It seems like their best shooter has been Kobe Bryant. You guys in Duke
Guys shooting like 80%.
You guys in Duke now are the only 2 teams that have held him to single digits. What was the game plan going into this one to defend him, and just how lethal can he be if you don't hone in the way you guys did?
Yeah, we were certainly trying to kind of make him back cut, almost get on the high side of him. If he comes off a screen or a handoff and there's no defender there, it's going up. He late in the game we sagged our 5 a little bit, and when you switch, you in theory go under the screener. So all of a sudden, when you're not switching and you go under, he really makes you pay. So the last one he made was we just made a little change a little bit because of our foul trouble and playing Blaze, who struggles a little bit more at 30 feet from the basket. So the last one he made was certainly a mistake on our part, but. Obviously we try to force him to the basket, try to force him to back cut, try to force him to go through the paint. He's led the country in 3-point shooting last year, and I think 77% or 8 going into the game. That's pretty unheard of. So I thought we did on him and Robinson. I thought we did a good job. 5 for 15 for the 2 of them. We pressured out, but to their credit, Carr and Williams and Garrison and even the guards, they did a great job getting into the paint and kind of making us pay for how much we were trying to pressure out in the line.
What was the biggest change offensively for Kentucky when they went small ball?
I guess when Carr's the 5, he's like a point forward out there. So, obviously it's just 4. I think Carr can really shoot the ball, but he doesn't shoot a lot. So at least there's one of the other 4 guys when they're big that you don't think they'll just fire quickly. But when he's the 5, obviously they really extend, and he's a great passer. So obviously on our end, you try to switch it all at the same time, man. When our little guards got on him, he sure makes you pay. And when you have 4 shooters around him posting up a 6'3" kid, it's a big advantage. So they just have so many different ways that they can attack you, and they did a great job at doing it tonight.
Okay, last question here.
Don wasn't scoring like he can tonight, but Julius stepped up. I think he dropped 18. What can you say about the freshman stepping up in this environment?
He's a special player. I think we felt like probably from the first day that we recruited Julius, we thought that he'd be an impact player for our team. He certainly has no fear, and he's very, very confident. And he has great basketball IQ. He's a very intelligent player. I thought he tried to, they tried to goad him into a couple quick shots early in the first half, and I thought in the second half he did a great job playmaking and getting in the paint for himself and others. And he's a huge part of this team. He's just going to keep getting better and better fast, and I thought he certainly responded in a positive way tonight for sure.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.